Greetings and welcome to the mat. We'll begin in a comfortable seated position. It's important to change up how we sit. I'm just going to do a modified half lotus. Let's bring our palms facing up and let's link the ring finger with the thumb for Yoga Mudra. Connect to our inner alignment and the domes of the body from the pelvic floor up through the top of the head. Establish yourself here and witness the next few breaths. Let's slow down the tracks of the mind. By letting the thoughts flow through us and by also adapting the mind into concentration, training the mind like a muscle to focus. And I welcome you to focus on cultivating good vibrations, spiritually, mentally, and physically. Over time, working fuller into a Ujjayi pranayama. Connecting it to root lock. We're going to hold this mudra with our fingers, but up above the crown. One hand will sit more forward than the other. We're going to practice 52 rounds of Kapalabhati. Take a big breath in. Send the arms out. Exhale, palms down, breath out. We'll do that mudra again over the head, but the other hand more forward. Placing the shoulder blades on the back, connect to the root lock. And as you're complete, we take a deep breath in. Extend the arms out. And exhale, transfer that energy down. Let's take a final few moments to sit. The legs can cross or be held the opposite way. Taking an inhale breath, reach your arms out and up. Take the hands to interlace back behind the head. And we're going to start to do a little side bend. And we won't stay. We're exhaling, elbow down. Stay up with the heart, back with the head. Inhale, ribs in, and exhale. You want to narrow through the body rather than back bend. When we work on things in our spine and you find that your body has a tendency to do a back bend when you're trying to do a twist or a lateral, it can be just indications of where we might be holding tension and tightness, but it also is an indication of establishing a better understanding of our core. And for our yoga, we're activating some of the work with our bandhas in that physical representation of our body, but also in the subtle body to hold our energy in. One more time, opposite side, then what you started. Inhale back through to center, reach out. And we're going to alternate the palms. One will be facing up, thumb back, and another will be palm the other way. So just kind of sensing you're going to do that. Stay breathing. Try to keep the arms as level as possible. Letting go of our ego and excess energy from delta brainwaves. And we use these concentrations and slowing down of our breath, of our mental energy, to enter different states of consciousness, which literally change our brainwaves. Let's try that one more time. To both directions. Finishing where both palms face up. Inhale. And exhale. Let's move to hands and knees. Take a deep breath, opening the heart. We're going to Om as we cat. Shoulders draw back before the head lifts. If you're uncomfortable with ohms, you hum. The whole aspect is just, again, the vibration and what that offers us for good vibrations. Lengthening out, you'll find a balance where your right arm extends, left leg extends. We're going to draw the arm out to the side from the shoulder, and the leg comes over to the right, foot on the ground. Inhale, open, and then we exhale, threading the needle. And we're slowly extending the right arm up. I'm going to have the sun in my face a little bit, so I may just kind of keep my eyes fairly closed. I invite you periodically to let your physical eyes close so that your inner drishti, your inner focus, is through the ajna, our spiritual eye for attuning higher senses, intuition, states of meditation. Inhale, always stay breathing, come through center, walk your arms, your torso forward, keeping the pelvis fairly level. You stay active, so notice no dropping in at your ribs, no dropping down at your elbows. Arms and legs are strong. Internal mental concentration, cultivating good vibrations. And if that means you're releasing things that are stuck or blocked or holding on to help you, and you're honoring that. Drop back in. Find your center. A few more cat-cows. No ohms, just cat-cows. Mobility in our body helps us in cultivating good vibrations, since oftentimes when we don't feel very mobile in the body, we also don't feel so good. We'll come back through center, switching out the arms and legs for our balance. Holding into the mid-body, hugging into the inner body, the midline. Arm is going to go out to the side. The leg steps out to the side. Functionally, if you ever need to modify, have both hands down in order to get the legs set up, that's a real yoga practice. Inhale, lift up. And we twist under. Exhale. Lengthening through sides of the body as we reach. Right arm up overhead, drawing in through the inner thighs so that this is more of an upper body twist. Activating our threading the needle. Inhale to our tabletop. Exhale the arms forward, level the hips. Arms stay active for this one. A variation of our Anahata Asana. Ujjayi breathing. Using our core to establish the tabletop. Final rounds of the cat-cow here. Spreading your fingers. Opening the front body. Exhale, feel the power of the core. We're going to rise up to the shins, sweeping the arms up overhead. Take an exhale breath. Inhale, sweeping up. We're going to take it back, extending your arms forward to a child's pose. And then we're going to snake our body through with our core to being on our bellies. So please be mindful with this transition. We're going to work some cobras with our breath. Inhale for that initial extension And then we bend the elbows, exhale. This will be important for the grasshopper later. Variation, inhale. Realistically, get yourself set up comfortably. Pay attention to your alignments. And what we'll try to be practicing here is that as we are breathing in, we lift. And then as we breathe out, soften down. Inhale, rise. Exhale. So I'm not dropping my shoulders when I release down. I'm not disengaging my bandhas or my legs. One last time. Exhale, breath. If your practice is comfortable with it, you'll lift all the way to downward facing dog. If you need a full child's pose here before, or to come through hands and knees, honor that. We lift into the plank before shifting our energy. Bend the knees as you shift back to create that connection more in our legs. Reset your hands, making sure the index points straight ahead, spread wide. And we're going to bend the left knee, but try not to teeter-totter the hips. So you actually want to learn about stability. And this amazing connection that's very deep, integral part of practicing asana safely with our stretches. The connection in the inner thigh, the pelvic floor, lower abdominal, deep transverse ab work. So if you notice a couple more breaths that it's almost impossible to stabilize your pelvis and operate your legs, that is a strong indication that we have some weakness in our pelvis and our core. Possibly that we leverage a bit in our back when we try to do things like a balance or a lunge. We're going to pause from the pedal, melt the heart. Inhale, right leg to the sky. Exhale. Find your step. Take a deep breath in. If you can, leg stays lifted. We're going to find some balance. Rising up. We're going to bring our arms into eagle. You can also just give yourself a hug if this is not an appropriate arm pose. Drawing in through the inner thighs. Slowly lifting your heart up. Open the arms. Exhale, breath. Some of us might practice vinyasa movement here. You could also choose to not do those. Express some good vibrations as we return. Inhale, focus on the stability in the pelvis, shoulders, lift leg. Exhale. So finding that connection through the inner thigh, pelvic floor, deep abdominals. Arrange our clothing so we feel more comfortable for the pose. Have a soft smile. Front knee and ankle lining up. We want to be lifting more into the upper back rather than dumping into the low back. And yet we want to maintain our lumbar. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, breath. Those optional vinyasas. Have it be with breath work. Slowing down. Reset your hands. Reset your feet so you have a good stable down dog. We're going to walk our hands back to our feet. Find yourself at a forward fold. Modifications, props. Releasing. Soft bend in the knees, deep core. Feet can be a little wider. We roll up on the inhale. Letting everything stuck. Arms up. Exhale, hands to heart. Give yourself a few moments to find the mountain pose. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. We're going to find a balanced twist. You may have something like a yoga strap. You may keep your knee bent and have the hand just draw around to the knee. You might grab your foot. There's many, many variations. And as we develop a yoga practice, it's really important that we're at the pace and the skill of our own fitness, body, mental, and breath capacity. When you feel ready, you're going to draw down into your left leg, pull up all the way strong. Modification, touch the knee and twist, draw back. We don't want the leg crossing the midline. A little fuller in the pose, remain in the twist, grab the foot and kick back. Press down, but also pull up. Extend out. And circle that energy back around into your standing foot. Slowly release, and if you'd like a little challenge, arms go up, leg stays extended. Arms down, release the leg with strength. So that whole time we stay drawing that energy back to our source. If we forget about that, then we can't actually get stable. And at the same time, if you do too much of it and tense, we also can't balance as easy. So it's this play on the universal flow of pulsation that everything stays moving. Breathe in. Feel your center. Mountain pose. Get yourself a little more established to your right leg now. Has to be an energy that pushes down and rebounds back up. Holding in through center. Trying to find our alignments as you go into your version of the pose. Try to grab a hold of the foot if you did it on the other side, or you'll use a yoga strap. Some days we balance a little different. If our mind can't find balance, our body cannot find balance. If our breath cannot find balance, our body cannot find balance. So think of it more from that rather than trying to achieve the balance just in the physical sense of self. We unwind, we might have a bit of some challenge, and exhale. Deep breath in. And out. You'll be at your top of the mat. We'll go through a flow. Inhale to rise. Maybe a little bit of a standing back arch. Exhale, breath. Swan dive down. Plant your hands. Again, the vinyasa part, just optional. You want to allow yourself to come up and forward before going down. Stay leading out with the heart. Lift the head last. And let your hands gently reset. Let your feet reset. Connecting in as down dog. Inhale. Finding our plank pose. Breathing. We want strong activation in our hands, our feet, our core, our legs. Tuck the tailbone under slightly. The whole body is active into that plane. Slowly draw your knees down. Sit back for a hero's pose. See if we can clasp the hands behind us and open into the heart. Spinal twist towards your right. Inhale, center, spinal twist towards your left. Inhale, center. So in the next few moments, we're going to practice a pose called dolphin pose. Now, some of us may have a practice in dolphin where we're pretty well established. And if you want to stay and kind of just really allow yourself to work in that pose a bit of time, the rest of us might just do like 3 rounds and think at least 5 breaths that you're trying to do. Okay, so working with our dolphin, I'm going to show an example of the block. So this would be great for those of you that want to achieve things like any arm balances, headstand, forearm or handstands. Dolphin pose is a must as a continuum practice. It also just is beneficial in its microdoses too of what it offers as long as we can mindfully apply. So we press the hands, thumbs around, press down, stay gazing forward. We lift up, knees bend, walk your feet out a little wider if you'd like to. and allow your hips to stay lifted. So again, you might just do 5 breaths and then take a break down at your tabletop. If you can, you're just staying with the practice and you're doing little micro adjustments to keep yourself from coming forward. Last little bit. Cultivate those deep vibrations. When we can maintain a form of calm and tranquility for this posture and ease, then we would know that we're ready for such further poses. And slowly coming down. We'll sit it back. One more hero pose today. We're going to try to tuck our toes under. Take the hands into clasping opposite index on top. Opening the heart. Those of you that have Ustrasana, camel pose, you're not relying on anything to identify it for you. You can arrive into your camel pose from here. Otherwise, please be here. Chin in. We'll take a final child's pose. We're going to be transitioning onto our back, setting up for threading the needle pigeon variation, which could be a modified version, or follow the cues for a little bit deeper version. You're on your back. Once you're ready to, your right foot flexed, we cross over. So a more basic threading the needle. That might be the example. If you're okay with it, we grab the foot, we hook that elbow crease, hug in and around, still releasing yourself down. Create a sensation for the lower abdomen to be able to draw in rather than push out. We're going to prepare to come out. So you want to establish your good knee direction before the leg releases. The way that you did your pigeon stretch on one side, repeat for your other side. So maybe just be here. We may have took our foot, placed it through the elbow crease, and wrapping around. inconvenience of alarm, slowly release from that pigeon stretch. So whatever variation you had, we'll inhale, take a good extension, hug the knees in, and prepare for a spinal twist. Inhale, center. Exhale to the other side. Inhale to center. Whether you do it here lying down on your back or to just take some moments when you're ready to close your practice sitting, please do take 3 to 5 minutes before you move into the next part of your day, your evening. Taking time to honor our practice. And it's quite a sacred thing to be willing to commune with ourselves spiritually, mentally, and physically. I acknowledge that in you. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaste.